Hey guys, how's it going? This is Full Power Pillic, and today I've been working on automating the mining machines for Bedrock version. So, as you may have seen in the previous video, I built this obvious mining machine that we've got here. Now, this one's kind of good, but you know, there's a few annoyances with it. You got to place the TNT there, then you got to go to the back and then manually activate it. Then it finally explodes, and then I wipe out my own logo. So what if we started to automate all this? Now, the first version that I was thinking of was something a little bit like this. Now, this one's kind of a bit sort of cool. I've got a few extra attachments on it. So as you can see, I've got a glowstone block underneath. That's mainly if you were, say, in a cave or something like that, you wanted to light it up a little bit as you traveled along. That would be kind of cool. Now, it was possible in one version of the Minecraft Java beta that you could actually use crying obsidian. Unfortunately, they removed the ability to be able to push crying obsidian, which kind of sucks a little bit. I can understand why they sort of got rid of it. It makes a lot of sense. I mean, you can't really push regular obsidian. Why would you be able to push crying obsidian? So it is what it is. But what we've got here is fundamentally a 3 block wide flying machine that can also act as a mining machine. Now, this one I kind of have a few problems with. First of all, you still got to manually fire it, but the bigger problem is at the moment that I can see is that it's actually 3 blocks wide. Now, that makes it a lot harder to deal with the lava and also makes the whole machine a bit bigger. So what I did was redesign that machine and upgraded it a little bit to make one of these. Now, this one is actually only 1 block wide, so a little bit lighter on resources, plus it's less likely to have issues with a lot of the lava, things like that. As long as the lava block isn't directly in front of it, it works pretty well. What you need to do is basically have an observer facing at the back, then you need to have a slime or honey block, then a dispenser at the front. Being Bedrock, we can basically push dispensers, droppers, hoppers, chests, all that sort of wonderful stuff. So even if you wanted to have, for instance, a chest block, you can just basically chuck it on the back like this one, or like that. That's perfectly fine. Not an issue whatsoever. It will move along with the whole design, so nice and easy there. And as you can see, what we've got down from there is basically a lightning bolt sort of shape on the honey blocks or slime blocks that you use. Then we've got a sticky piston for this one. We've got a regular piston here and another slime block. Then we've just got an observer facing downwards so that it'll actually power this. Now, this one's kind of cool, but again, you got to actually use the redstone torches. So that's a little bit annoying. So what would happen if we built some sort of timed flying machine that allowed for enough time for the TNT to be dispensed and then explode, and then push the whole machine again? So what I've done is fundamentally that. So if we fly down these corridors, now these are all made by the actual flying machines. As you can see, this one's got a little bit of a downside that it makes this crevice on the right hand side here. It's mainly because we don't have these sort of side blocks, as you can see, that was directing the blast forces where we wanted them. So you do suffer a little bit as far as not having a perfectly flat floor with these. But I think it's a little bit of a sacrifice to make in order to be able to have something that works a bit better. So here we have a full automatic version. So this one's quite easy in how it works. So if we activate, where is it stopped? It looks like it stopped on that one. So that one's directly in front of it. So if we just push that, we'll get rid of that block. As you can see, it will automatically each time just blast straight through, and by the time it actually gets back around to the front to push it again, it's ready to actually have another TNT charge. I've tried to make it different sort of colors so that you can sort of see how long this thing is, and if you really wanted to make this thing, it's fairly sort of straightforward. All that we have is mainly observer blocks, either facing upwards or downwards. The top row here is all all sticky pistons. The bottom ones here are all regular pistons. So this is fundamentally a big one-way flying machine. Again, you can also chuck chests and things like that on the side. So if you start running out of storage space, you can just basically chuck all that sort of stuff on the side and it all works pretty well. Now, the only thing that I've got against this one is, again, you have issues if you end up with lava directly in front of you. And the other problem is that once you run out of TNT in this, it generally drives itself into the wall a little bit, so you got to dig it out a little bit yourself and that sort of thing, which is kind of a little bit annoying, but not the worst thing in the world, to be honest. I was thinking, what if we went one step further from this? You see, what if we didn't actually have the whole guiding block sort of design? What if we had something a little bit more advanced? So what we'll do is we'll just basically stop the whole machine, which we can do with a redstone torch. So that's permanently stopped now. I can get rid of those because we're not going to need them. And this final one that we've got here, now this one, I don't even know what to say here. It's definitely game changing. This one is definitely something weird. Unfortunately, it's shaped a little bit like a gentleman's sausage. You'll see what I mean in a second. So yes, it's got some unfortunate characteristics in how it's designed, but this one is definitely something crazy. So what we can do is simply fire it by putting a redstone torch there. It displaces 2 TNT blocks and then it fires them. This is the first flying TNT cannon, ladies and gentlemen, and you can use it for mining, or you can use it for griefing. Don't use it for griefing. I mean, there's much better ways to grief other players. Plus, you know, this would be really expensive to do because, you know, each one of these has got like massive amounts of TNT in it, that sort of thing. So probably not good for griefing, but yeah, definitely good for mining. Now, as you can see here, the basic sort of construct to this is that we've got these 4 ancient debris or netherite blocks here. I reckon that we could probably even get rid of that one if we really wanted to. I don't think it's going to have too much of an issue if you actually get rid of that. So let's have a double check. Yeah, not a problem. Works fine still. So we've got basically 5 blocks again, but this time we've got an observer facing upwards. We've got a sticky block here, or a honey block here. We've got a regular piston here, and another honey or slime block. Then this one needs to be a sticky piston. Why can I not say sticky piston today? This one needs to be a sticky piston. Then we've got an observer. This is actually facing towards the piston. So if I get rid of the one here, you'll see that it's got the face on this side. So let's just chuck that back, of course, because we're going to need that. And there. So what we have down here is actually the firing mechanism. Now this is just a regular piston, of course. And what it does is as it travels along, if I do it again, you'll see that it actually first of all activates this one, and then it pushes it one step forward, which activates this one. So these blocks here are actually facing upwards, and it's fundamentally dropping the TNT through the actual netherite or ancient debris block. So what we're going to do now is we're going to actually go down into the lower sections of the nether, and we're going to actually give this a little bit of a shot to see whether or not we can get this to actually work by actually finding some decent quantities of ancient debris. So let's choose a nice clean spot and somewhere around here. So we'll just, I've fallen through the wall. Let's try again. So we're going to need a little bit of an area and something like that. Now, obviously this is going to take a few seconds just to clear out enough space. And we've found some already, so there you go, we've already, I'm kidding. So we need to, first of all, build our flying machine a little bit like this. And I think that if we try to give ourselves a little bit of a gap, that might be a smart idea. So then we're going to do that, and that. In fact, I reckon that you could probably even get away with not having that one. So let's go with that. Let's not even bother with the whole block at the front there. So from here, we need to put down our redstone block, and then we need to have a dispenser. So a little bit like this. Then we need to have our regular piston, which will be here. There we go. And we'll need another piston here, and an observer facing towards the back. Then from here, what we need to do is have obviously another piston just above it. And we need to have something like a slime or a sticky block. If I can find them. There we go. And we'll chuck that in here. Then we need the other one here. Then what we'll need is an observer facing upwards. And then our final block, I've forgotten what this is. Oh no, it's a sticky block. Of course it is. Sticky piston block. There we go. So what we'll do is face that one backwards. And that should be pretty much all that you need. So now what we'll need is some TNT, which will make our life a little bit easier. We'll chuck lots of TNT in these ones. Okay, so now it's all in there, all ready to go. And I think what we might just do is, to make our lives a little bit more easier, we're also going to change the final block out for a honey block so that we can ride on top of it, of course. I like riding on top of flying machines. I reckon that's the best way to do it. So let's get to it and start mining our way through the nether. So if you are using the TnT method or the mining machine method or whichever, it looks like what you really want to be aiming for is those areas where there's high amounts of lava. You don't want to be avoiding them. You want to be trying to deal with them as best that you can, because it looks like that's where most of your ancient debris actually is. If that is the game mechanic that Mojang has implemented, I really got to say that's a fantastic one, because it really makes it a lot more tougher to get the ancient debris, which I really do enjoy. I'll mention at the very last point that if you wanted to ride on top of these machines, you would want to have, say, a couple honey blocks out like this, so that you're well outside the blast range of getting damaged or knocked off your machine. That's definitely something to keep in mind. But that's it for me today, guys, and I hope that you had a little bit of fun. Again, drop a like, subscribe, all that stuff. It definitely helps the channel. If I've forgotten anything, definitely leave comments in the description. But until the next time, I'll catch you later, guys.